On a beautiful Saturday afternoon in New York City, it is Military Appreciation Day here at the stadium. The Golden Knights parachuting team came into Yankee Stadium, and they got a big hand, and those people should get big hands every time they do what they do for us. And now it is time for baseball, as Pix 11 presents New York Yankees baseball. Today, it's the Kansas City Royals against the New York Yankees in the first game of a day-night doubleheader from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Last night was washed out. That's why we had the day-night doubleheader today. But a lot of the action took place on Thursday. Could affect the Yankees over the next 3 weeks. It happened in the first inning, Thursday's game against the Royals. Aaron Judge at the plate. Boom. He is hit on the right wrist, and you knew something was wrong just the way he reacted. Later on, the Yankees gave him an MRI and a CT scan, a small chip of the right wrist, and he's expected to be out 3 weeks. And the Yankees actually believe that he could start playing games in the big leagues in 3 weeks. But that's 3 weeks without arguably their best player. Who makes up for it?
Well, there are a few guys that come to mind. Some obvious choices for me: Greg Bird. He has an opportunity to be a big part of this lineup. Aaron Hicks, he has an opportunity to really get hot. This team, to me, has enough offense to get through this span. And you have the big series with Boston, but other than that, they're playing some teams that they should beat. You can't use excuses.
All right, let's take a look now at today's pitching matchup. Brad Keller is going to get the start for the Royals. He's pitched in 30 games, 9 starts, 3-4, very good ERA. Luis Severino gets the start for the Yankees, 14-3, 2.63. Last 3 starts, not really the way Luis Severino usually pitches. And his last start in St. Pete, kind of odd in many ways.
It certainly was. I mean, he is having a little hiccup. He still has this stuff, but there is the incident. And did this cause anything in this game? I don't know. But you saw what happened at the dugout afterward. It was talked about. Luis Severino was not the same pitcher when this all went about, kind of lost his concentration. He has given up some long balls, which you're not accustomed to seeing. 11 hits. That's not Severino. He is so good at home. A great opportunity for a bounce back today.
Well, we'll see how he pitches against the Royals in the first game of this day-night doubleheader. Aaron Judge spoke about going on the DL. Meredith Morakovitz has more when we return next right here on Pix 11.
Meredith Morakovitz. After last night's postponement, Aaron Judge spoke to the media for the first time since being placed on the disabled list with a fractured right wrist.
I had a bad feeling. I've gotten hit kind of in the forearm or kind of up in that area before, and this one I knew right when I got that spot that it was a little different. But I didn't know the severity of it until all the X-rays and everything came back. But yeah, I didn't have a good feeling when it got me up there. It's tough, but stuff like this happens. You can't control it. I'm glad it happened now instead of the last week of September, or the last couple weeks of September, so you got to make a positive out of it. So, I want to be out there with my guys every day. That's always my goal. I want to play 162 plus, with my team. That's what I always felt like to find great players, the guys that are out there, battling and grinding every day with their team, So it's tough, but nothing I can do about it now. Just got to move on, get healthy, and get ready for that run.
Judge went on to say that 3-week time frame is in fact a realistic one. In the meantime, look for Giancarlo Stanton to get the majority of the reps in right field, as well as the 2-hole in that lineup. Plenty more to come here on Picks 11. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by Paul O'Neill. First pitch coming your way after the break.
Most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. By Spectrum. TV the way you want it. More HD, more on demand. Get it now at Spectrum.com. By the Lincoln Motor Company. By the Hyundai Epic Summer Sales Event. Get an epic deal now at your Hyundai dealer. By TGI Fridays. Get it here or get it to go. In here, it's always Friday. And by your tri-state area Land Rover retailers. Land Rover, above and beyond. Well, the ugliness of last night has made way for what seems like a beautiful day this Saturday afternoon, the first game of a day-night doubleheader. Yankees have taken the field. Severino's taking his warm-ups. So we'll take a look at the Royals starting lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Whit Merrifield is at second base. He'll lead off batting second. The DH, Rosel Herrera. Salvador Perez, the catcher, will bat third. Cleaning up first baseman Lucas Duda. Jorge Bonifacio in right field bats fifth. Batting sixth, the left fielder Alex Gordon. Brian Goodwin in center field will bat seventh. Batting eighth, third baseman Alcides Escobar. The Royals overnight traded Mike Moustakas to the Milwaukee Brewers. And Adalberto Mondesi, the shortstop, will bat ninth. And they're going to face Luis Severino. Severino is 22nd start. He's 14-3. with a 2.63 ERA, 152 Ks, and 133 and a third innings pitched. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
Well, he has had the 3-start hiccup. He's 7-point ERA over his last 3 starts, and it's a sudden surge in home runs. You're not used to seeing him. 6 home runs in his last 3 starts. But he's back in the Bronx, and he's good in the Bronx. He is 1.64 home ERA, which leads Major League Baseball. So good matchup for Sevy. Good way to get going again.
Lowest home ERA in baseball in his 10 starts here at the stadium. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by Altice One from Optimum. Wade, Hicks, and Robinson left to right in the outfield. Wade, second big league start and left. Walker, Gregorius, Torres, and Bird, third to first. Romine's behind the plate. Severino is on the mound. So Tyler Wade will have to deal with the sun in left field. A little overcast today. Not sure how that will play for him. He made a start in left field last year, so we'll see how he handles it today.
Yeah, it's all about the angles and the steps. He definitely has the speed, but we'll see how, you're right, Michael, how he handles left field today.
Laz Diaz, the second base ump, gesturing toward the center field area. Everything's cleared up. Merrifield's ready. Severino's ready. Let's do it. Here in the Bronx, first pitch is lined into center field for a base hit for Whit Merrifield.
Merrifield, a good hitter. I mean, he came into the series hitting 300 in first pitch, first hit. So he's not used to seeing that fastball turned around like that.
Now there's been almost an imperceptible drop in the fastball, nothing that would alarm you. But Aaron Boone has talked about the crispness of Severino's pitches in the last couple of games, so he's looking to rediscover that. Here's Herrera. Jumps on the first pitch as well and fouls it off into the second deck. So in his first 18 games, 97.7 miles per hour fastball. Last three, 97.4. But look at the opponent's batting average against that fastball, 400. And I'm sure that guy's a little bit smarter than us when it comes to baseball, trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Just could be a little mid-season malaise. Could be he's hitting a wall and he has to get through it, and all pitchers do that. They did give him a significant amount of time off between his last start, the All-Star game, and then the first start back against Tampa Bay. There's a strike to Herrera. Well, the sun has certainly defeated the cloud at this point, or the vice versa. The clouds have defeated the sun. It's kind of overcast at the stadium.
Kind of a fight up there in the sky.
Yes, it is, and in my mouth.
I don't want to bring that part up. It was so early in the broadcast, you know.
Count 1-2 on Herrera. Well, the Royals, it's no secret, are having a dreadful year, 31-71, and you know they're going to trade people that they think they're not going to bring back. And Moustakas working on a one-year contract. Led the team with 20 home runs and 62 ribbies, and he's gone to Milwaukee. So a Royals team that's not very good anyway has lost one of its best offensive pieces, and for the Yankees that's fortunate. So they'll play 3 of these 4 games without having to deal with Moustakas.
Yeah, he was their power threat, and you see Ned Yost right there going to just try to figure out how to groom some young kids to become better quicker. And, you know, with a bad team, you have an opportunity to get these kids out there.
Why don't we take a look around the majors, brought to you by ChevyOffers.com. Cole Hamels, acquired by the Cubs. Eduardo Escobar from the Twins to the Diamondbacks. Asdrubal Cabrera from the Mets to the Phillies. And Moustakas from Kansas City to Milwaukee. And Kansas City got back outfielder Brett Phillips and right-handed pitcher Jorge Lopez. And Phillips is a highly regarded prospect with an unbelievable outfield arm. Runner goes, and the pitch is fouled away. Wow. And that goes into the stands and got over the screen and into the second level of seats on the first deck of the stadium. Swing and a miss, got him.
And what you're going to see with a lot of folks in this Kansas City lineup, young players, if you get ahead, they will swing at balls out of the strike zone. Good slider down and in. What you're used to seeing.
Merrifield, who has 21 stolen bases. He's checked back to first. Last year he led the American League with 34 stolen bases. Another player who could be on the block, but the Royals like him so much they say they would have to be blown away to trade Merrifield. 1-0 to Perez. Checks the swing.
Perez, he will leave the strike zone. Hit a home run game 1 of this series on a hanging slider. But again, a lot like the Kansas City free swingers, good fastball hitting team, young team. Said he'll probably use that slider a lot more today.
Runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw to second, off the glove of Torres, but backing up nicely is Shane Robinson and throws behind Merrifield. So stolen base for Merrifield.
Well, good job by Torres. I mean, not by not catching the ball, but to act like nothing was wrong. And that way, Merrifield doesn't get a read where he can go on to third immediately. You know, as an infielder, if you give it away immediately, a lot of times they can read that and get up and go. Slider away. Kind of a tailing fastball, but you see Torres is kind of like, nothing happened. Merrifield didn't get a good read.
Merrifield is a big threat to steal third base. 9 steals of third this year. Ground ball is short, and he makes a bad base running mistake, and he is gunned down by Gregorius. You never try to advance on a ball hit in front of you. That's exactly what he did.
I think he got caught out on his lead and immediately kind of went on contact. And then as a base runner, I mean, you might as well go at this point. But good job by Didi to cut him down.
Nice quick tag by Neil Walker. Severino likes what he sees. Why wouldn't he?
I mean, when you give up a base hit first pitch of the game, and then all of a sudden now you're 2 outs, man, on first, you got an opportunity to breeze through this first inning. That's what Sevy needs after a couple outings that he's not accustomed to.
You wonder, Paul, and you were fortunate, and you were one of the reasons why you didn't play on bad teams in your career. But when a team is this bad as the Royals are, I mean, do you make those mistakes like what Alex Gordon did to end Thursday night's game and advancing to third base on a ball hit in front of you? I mean, are you losing your sense of what's right and wrong?
You know, you would think that the veteran players in Gordon's sense wouldn't make mistakes like that. You would kind of expect it in some of the younger players trying to, show what they can do. But, it is kind of shoddy baseball. There's no doubt about it. And bad teams do make bad mistakes. But this is a time of year where you're still taking the field. There's so many games left where, you're still trying to produce a good year, become the player you're supposed to become. But you come late part of the year, the last couple weeks, on a losing team, it can be hard.
It shouldn't be setting in here at the end of July.
No.
2-2 on Duda with a runner on first and 2 outs. They had the shift on for the left-handed hitter. 3 infielders on the right side. 1 in short right field. 2-2. 3-2, so that's going to release Perez at first. And Bird will play behind him.
Some guys, Michael, when you release them from first, they're going to score on a double. Perez is not one of those guys. Not known for his wheels. Those catchers is one of those guys that, he hits some home runs and is a great defensive catcher, but he's not going to steal too many bases for you.
Chop toward first. Bird's there. Flips to Severino, and that's going to do it here in the top of the first. No runs a hit, and 1 man left. Royals nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. The DA Giancarlo Stanton. Didi Gregorius at shortstop will hit third, cleaning up. Yeah, he's up to cleanup now. Second baseman Gleyber Torres. Greg Bird at first bats fifth. Batting sixth, third baseman Neil Walker. Austin Romine will catch. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing left field Tyler Wade. And Shane Robinson is in right field. He's going to bat ninth. And they will face Brad Keller. Celebrated his 23rd birthday yesterday. He was supposed to start on his 23rd birthday. Here are his numbers: 9 starts, 3 and 4, 3.20, 63 hits, 29 walks, and 44 strikeouts. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report, brought to you by Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
Well, he's a diamond in the rough. He was a Rule 5 guy. They basically stole him, brought him on. A lot of people were very surprised they were able to do that. Ground ball specialist, second in Major League Baseball. 59.5% ground ball ratio and 2 in 70. In 70 innings this year, he's only given up 2 home runs. And that shows that good sinking fastball.
Kind of pitcher you want pitching in this ballpark. Keep the ball out of the air. So here's Aaron Hicks. Speaking of home runs, he has 9 home runs in his 20 games when he starts in the leadoff spot. And that's where he is today, as Gardner has the first game off.
You call him one? Is that what you're doing?
No, it's a ground ball back to the pitcher. And it's a base hit. Let's see if Hicks is okay. He stumbled over the bag or due to his foot. So he reaches. He's got a smile on his face. Guess he's okay. Got him right in the back. Ooh.
Michael, that's about where your back hurts. That might just relieve all the tension if I smoked you right there, right?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'm in so much pain. Why don't you give it a shot?
But, you know, you talked about that. That's ruled as a base hit for Aaron Hicks. But you talked about, you know, some of the plays and some of the base running thing. These are the things you see from kind of bad teams. I mean, a play that should be made, that now you're kind of setting up the Yankees for an inning here in the first. Amazing when you look at those numbers where Stanton has come. Hitting over 280 now.
Well, since June 16th, Paul is hitting 358. That's how he's boosted his average. And pitches low and inside, 1-0. Home plate umpire is Chad Whitson. Jeremy Rehack at first. Laz Diaz, the crew chief, at second. And Andy Fletcher is over at third. High fly ball. Right center. Goodwin makes the play. 1 down. Let's check out the Royals defense, brought to you by your Tri-State Audi dealers. You've got Gordon, who could really throw in left field. 8 outfield assists this year, 90 since 2010. Goodwin in center, Bonifacio over in right. Infield, no Moustakas, so Escobar moves from short to third. Mondesi at short, Murfield at second, Duda at first, Perez behind the plate, and Brad Keller's on the mound. Here's Didi Gregorius. 1-0. You know, they talk about deals, Paul, when teams make deals when a team is doing well. And Brian Cashman has always spoken about it, too. It's almost a message that you're sending to that clubhouse. You know, we're in this, too. The Yankees pick up Britton. They'll have Jay Happ start tomorrow. Those are 2 significant pickups. And in '95, on this date, the Yankees picked up David Cone. What did that mean to the room?
Well, I mean, immediately you hear the name David Cone and you know what it was for. It was to get you over the top into that World Series, and it did. So
got you to the playoffs.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, when organizations go forward and add, it is a shot in the arm in the clubhouse.
Ground ball to second. There's one on to first. Not in time.
And on the other side of the coin, Michael, you can be in an organization where, you know, you feel like you have a chance to win, and then the organization doesn't add anything.
Right.
You see Didi back just a little bit too much speed, and it's almost a defeating feeling as a player. Is, you know, everybody's adding players, and we didn't add something, and so it can go both ways.
Here's Gleyber Torres. He's been back 2 games off the DL, 1 hit and 7 at bats, a soft single into left center field, and he is batting cleanup today. So from the number 9 hole to the cleanup spot for a 21-year-old. You were not hitting cleanup on 21, right?
No, maybe in AA. Huh? As weird as this sounds, you don't want to take that cleanup hitter, you know, mentality. up to the plate with you. You know, if you're used to hitting second or seventh or something where you can just go out and hit, all of a sudden you're hitting fourth and you feel like you need to do more. You feel like you need to hit the ball in the seats. Worst thing you can do as a hitter.
1-1. That one is punched into right field. They're going to be caught by Bonifacio, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We played one. It's 0-0 here in the Bronx. Epic summer sales event, Paul.
Well, who steps up? And we talked about it in the pregame. I mean, there's no sugarcoating, and Aaron Judge is a big part of this offense, but there's a lot of guys that can add to this offense, and let's see who steps up. Bounce back for Sevy. You get him going again because the pitching staff, you know, when your offense goes down a little bit, your pitching staff needs to pick it up a little bit, and it's exciting now from fifth inning on now with this bullpen, Michael, to see how it's going to be used.
Popped up behind the plate. Romine tosses away the mask and makes the play. Almost lost it, but held on to make the play.
Well, fighting the sun and kind of where you are on the field, the screen, kind of a little last jab. It ends up in the pocket. I'll tell you what, Austin Romine does a lot of good things defensively, huh?
I've always wondered this, Paul, and I guess you really can't answer it. How, when you're growing up becoming a catcher, can you practice that play? Every Little League park, every high school park has that overhang behind the plate. You can't get pop-ups.
Yeah, and you remember, I don't know if you remember when there were the old infield where the coach at the end would try to hit pop-ups straight up, and half of them would go out in center field. It was a very tough play to work on, and we're, you know, in the minor league camps, you'll see a lot of times they'll have the jugs machines shooting them straight up in the air, allowing the catchers to turn, because it's really not that easy of a play because you're catching the ball coming back to you. But you're right, it's a hard play to work on.
And it almost seems like you'd be able to start working on it once you become a professional, because again, they have
the screen,
that screen behind. 1-2, swing and a miss. There's that quality fastball striking out Gordon 98 miles an hour for today's high-speed pitch. It comes to you from your Tri-State BMW centers.
We've seen the slider. Now you see the overpowering fastball, just that little hop at the end at 98. you're so used to seeing Severino throw the ball like this that when he has a couple bad outings, you're kind of scratching your head. But he seems to be fine.
Here's Goodwin. Pitch outside, 1-0. Strike.
It's amazing when he gets it going. Like it seems to have it. It's just like he's playing catch. I mean, he's not overthrowing. It just looks free and easy. Mixing a changeup once in a while. I mean, it'd be fun to have that good of stuff and be able to take the hill or the bump, as David Cope would say.
Bump in the Bronx.
If you're going to teach somebody how to pitch, I mean, watch this. It's just nothing. It seems all together. Obviously, it's God-given talent to have that kind of arm speed to be able to throw the ball at 98 on the corner. Michael, I'm going to take us to commercial.
Why don't you do that?
Was a nasty pitch right there. So let's just go to commercial and think about it.
Your local Honda dealer. A game tonight against the Royals. That's going to be on Yes. Then Sunday, tomorrow, 105 start on Yes. Monday's an off day. 2 games against the Orioles Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon. And then, oh yeah, by the way, 4 games against the Red Sox at Fenway. You know it's a big series because O'Neill's going to be there.
I figure it's only a 3-game series, Michael, because ESPN stole the other game.
That's right. That's right. Well,
the big 3 start, though, right? They got the tail end of it.
We very rarely even get 3 games at Fenway. So,
Meredith, do I need to do anything special? You are driving us in the minivan back down to Boston, right?
I feel like maybe you should pack some snacks for yourself.
I'm
I know
ahead of
you're
snack.
hungry every 5 minutes, so we're not going to stop on the side of the road for you to get snacks every 5 miles.
All right, so Coney's got our places we're going to stop. I'm ahead of the snacks. Michael, I guess you're just going to show
music.
up. Music.
Yeah, I'll get music. Meredith, asking him to get snacks. We're gonna have sprigs and berries.
We need a U-Haul. You need a U-Haul.
It'll be a nice, healthy trip for all of us.
There better be a pizza place on the way.
Healthy until David stops at wherever we're stopping, and then I think it'll go off the rails a little bit.
Here's a 3-2 to Bird. And he works a walk to start off the second inning.
They're going to look like the Clampets going through Connecticut.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to go with the Scooby-Doo van or the van from the Jim Carrey movie, Dumb and Dumber.
For Dumb and Dumber, we know who you are, brother.
So you're saying I'm the dumb one. So who's the dumber?
Now Coney's going too, right?
0-1 on Walker. Walker hitting .353 in his last 11 games. Yankees been waiting for this, and he's punched the average up to .213. Going to see more time with the injury to Judge. So how does he benefit from that? Well, somebody's got to be DHing. It could be Andujar a lot. And you have Walker playing third.
Sure. And, you know, you hope that guys, you know, get hot at the right time. What a great time for Neil Walker now to add some offense to this lineup. And, you know, everybody was kind of waiting for it to happen. And recently, by he hitting the ball to left field a lot more, a lot of good things have happened.
And he is hot. And Who's Hot is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. You know, he's been a good hitter for too long. And, I mean, how often do careers just fall off the cliff over one off season? Sometimes it happens. But the Yankees have believed with him. They have stuck with him. And he's gotten some big hits, too. I mean, he does have 24 ribbies. Check that 23 ribbies. Pitch is high, 3-1.
Keller up in the strike zone. You're not really used to seeing that. We talked about how many sinkers he throws, how many ground balls. And as a hitter, that's what you want to try to do, is try to elevate him in the strike zone where you can get the ball in the air.
Foul back. Three-two. There he goes into left field, and a diving try by Gordon. He can't make the play. Bird will go to third. Yankees have runners on the corners and nobody out.
Look at Walker and his approach now to left field. It just seems like everything is starting to come together. Ball up in the strike zone, stays inside it, goes the other way. Talked about Gordon, one of the better left fielders, but just no way to get to this, and a good read by Bird, seeing it get away. Scampers into third, but see the glove kind of going the wrong way during that dive.
Want to know to Romine. And that hits Romine. And he's in a lot of pain as the bases will be loaded. Makes it can ill afford another injury, especially with Sanchez already on the DL.
Aaron Boone's reaction. It's not that it's on purpose, but it's like, you know, you got to clean this up a little bit. Targets are being missed by 2 and 3 feet, and it just can't be that easy. You know, you get frustrated on the other end. It's not the intention. It's just like, enough's enough. Those two-seamers just run in, and that is not going to be much of a problem. It hurts, but you see that's down lower on the forearm, where you shouldn't have as much problem, obviously, as Judd. You do get upset. You see your manager, you know, you know the importance of your players at this point. And, you know, you know that it shouldn't be that easy for a pitcher to come up and in and have no worry of hitting somebody, because what do the Kansas City Royals have to lose at this point? But the Yankees have to lose a lot, you know, if you lose players.
Here's Tyler Wade playing left field today, batting 8th. know, baseball people, I mean, fans look at it differently. They don't care if it's done on purpose. As you said, they think you have to be more careful. I know Tony La Russa always used to preach that. Okay, by accident, but you can't do that.
There was, you know, kind of an unwritten rule, you know, once, all right, but, you know, you start hitting guys unintentionally or not, you know, it's just too comfortable coming in off the plate. And that's why a lot of pitchers don't want to pitch in, because they don't want to hit players. But, you know, there's a fine line of pitching and not having any recourse of hitting somebody.
You know, one errant pitch like that, and the Yankees have lost the leader in all the major offensive categories on the team for 3 weeks. One errant pitch. He wasn't doing it on purpose, but Aaron Judge is out because of it. And I'm sure that led to the anger that you saw when Boone came out of the dugout. One, two. Nubbed in front of the plate. It's a fair ball. And it's a double play.
Wow. I mean, you couldn't have done anything as a hitter worse than hit a ball right in front of the plate. Tag, plate, tag. You just hope that this somehow nicked him in the box where it's a foul ball. Nope.
I'm sorry. Wade has to run on that, too. If it's that close, you can stand there and make it easy for Perez. Make him throw the ball. So that's a double play, unassisted, too. And the other runners move up. So Bird's out at home, Walker goes to third, and Romine goes to second. Odd play, but again, Wade has to run there. So second and third, 2 outs. So bases loaded, nobody out. Now second and third, 2 outs. And here's Shane Robinson, the number 9 batter and the right fielder today. Oh and 1.
It's the evidence of that sinking fastball. Last ball with Wade just beat into the ground, and now Robinson, you see, just not able to get under the ball and square it up. It's just sinking the whole way. Really kind of cover the ball and stay up the middle, because if you pull off at all, it just ends up in a ground ball.
Two, 1. 3 and 1. He doesn't want to lose Robinson and deal with Hicks. And the 3-1. High fly ball, center field. Goodwin drifts over, and that'll do it. With the bases loaded, nobody out, leads to run 85% of the time. That's from Baseball Prospectus. Yankees didn't get one. By Altice One from Optimum and by Bob's. Everything's better with a Bob-O-Pedic. Find out why at mybobs.com. Want one of those, Paul? A water dog?
It's a little early for a hot dog, but we'll keep it in mind.
All right. It's on the menu. There's Escobar. There's a strike as we start the third inning. So a disappointing bottom of the second for the Yankees. As we mentioned, this year bases loaded. Nobody out leads to a run 85% of the time. Teams average 2.26 runs an inning in those situations. Yankees got nothing. Right back to Severino. Over to Bird, one away. Adalberto Mondesi. Now, we mentioned this on Thursday. Adalberto's first name is Raul. His father's name is Raul. His brother's name is Raul. So he decided to go with his middle name, Adalberto. Popped up. Left field, going to be a tough play. It's going to fall in there for a base hit. Mondesi going for 2, and he's going to make it. So he gets himself a double, extends his hitting streak to 7 straight.
You knew that was going to be, no words, Phil. Nobody have an opportunity, and Mondesi shows his wheels going around first base. Two-seam fastball inside, kind of just jammed him. Just enough to hit it in front of Wade. Kind of kicked around. World Cup action right there, Mike. See that little pass through his legs?
NYCFC plays on this field, so a little of that magic on this pitch. I'm sorry. And here's the pitch from Severino. Upstairs to Merrifield. Have you caught any of that? They play a really good brand of soccer. They've got really good players.
I mean, I was in Times Square or Rockefeller, and we were walking through there, and I saw the people perched in bleachers watching the game. It was pretty cool. I mean, if you're soccer fans, neat stuff.
And NYCFC is undefeated at home at Yankee Stadium, so they're really good at home. New York City Football Club. (2-0). Turn him loose on 3-0. Fouls it away.
You've got one 300 hitter in your lineup, and you got a man in scoring position against Severino and Yosh. You might as well let him go. Take your best shot.
Trying to get Mondesi leaning. The sun has burned through some of the clouds, so we have a sun-bathed field here at the stadium. It's a strike. No, looked like he was going to raise his right arm. He did not. Merfield thought it was a strike, but it's a walk. First and second, 1 man out.
Ball a little down. Manfred takes ball 4, but if you're Severino, that's the one guy that can, you know, hit that, get that hit with the men in scoring position, so that walk's not going to bother you.
And 1 on Herrera, who struck out in the first inning. So a bloop double and a walk. And the Royals threatening here in the third. One and 1.
The pitch that he got Herrera his first time up was that slider down and in, that back foot. Once in a while as a hitter, you kind of learn. Lay off a pitch you don't hit well.
Line drive over the leaping try of Bird, a base hit into right field. Mondesi scores. Merrifield will score. It's a 2-run double for Herrera, and the Royals are on top 2-0. They almost ran themselves out of the inning right there because Merrifield took off and Mondesi did not.
Sevy gets beat with his third pitch, and that's a changeup that just kind of lays out there. Herrera hammers it to right. Just over Bird's head. Boy, what a change of events. You've got bases loaded, nobody out. You don't score, and the next thing you know, ow, just off the end of the glove, and now you're down 2-0.
And you've always told me, Paul, through the years, if you get out early on a bad team, it's a game over.
It seems to really just, you know, they're doing what they're accustomed to doing at that point, and that's losing. But, you know, you see, like Herrera, when you watch his intensity after that hit, you see people come alive. Now they have an opportunity to win a game. They're in a game. It's just that you're playing a different team now.
That's how important bases loaded, nobody out is, and then when you don't score, you kind of give them life. The 0-1. Foul back to the screen. 0-2 on Perez, who reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. And he gets plunked, and you wonder, is that on purpose?
Base open, the same pitch. Looked like a two-seamer running up and in.
That got him on the elbow guard, so.
You start doing the math and the piece by piece, you know, catcher for catcher. I say so, you know, it could be, but again, games, win-loss is much more important to the Yankees now than the Royals. So, you know, if you're Aaron Boone or Severino, you got to realize, you know, if I'm going to take a shot there, I still got to get these outs. I got to get this team back in the dugout, keep them in the game.
(0-2).
Sevy's best fastball of the day at 99. A lot of plate, but just right by Duda.
Ripped down the right field line and foul.
It's a slider after a couple good fastballs, but it didn't quite get in off the plate enough.
Chop to first. Bird goes to second one. No return throw, but a snap throw to third. And as Herrera dives back.
Kind of a chopper, not hit hard enough to turn two, but good pitching there and a smart decision by Romine. He had set him up and he went with the fastball away and roll over, just not hit hard enough.
Here's Bonifacio. Fouled out to Romine in the second inning. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Pitch is high, 2-1. A long inning for Severino. Pitch count now at 51. Herrera's at third and Duda is at first. Three and one. He checks his swing, and I believe that Rehak said he went around, so 2-2 now rather than 3-1. A big call by the first base ump.
You seldom see umpires check that late and get the call. Severino thought he had it.
Now it's 3-2. He just does not look as sharp as he did earlier in the year.
Looks like he's kind of throwing across his body. You know, earlier in the game where he was painting both sides of the plate, it seemed everything was in kind of connected, and now you see some of his body's releasing over to the first base side, which kind of gets that arm angle a lot.
Strike three. Bonifacio down looking. But the Royals scored 2 runs on 2 hits, 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the third, 2-0 KC. cars, trucks, and SUVs, visit buyfordnow.com. And by National Vision, not just a better deal, it's America's best. So the Yankees down 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the third here at Yankee Stadium. It's turned into a nice Saturday afternoon. Top of the order for the Yankees against Brad Keller, Hicks, Stanton, and Gregorius. 3 infielders on the right side for Hicks. And he takes a strike from Keller. Last night's rainout, the 9th postponement the Yankees have had this year. It's the most in Major League Baseball. Now this is their 3rd doubleheader of the year. They split the other 2. And they have one more doubleheader scheduled on August 25th in Baltimore. So the weather has been a factor, and now because of the injury to Judge, the depth is not as robust as you would like. So doubleheaders do take a little out of you. That's why you're starting Robinson in right and Tyler Wade in left. Because for the most part, for these 3 weeks, Aaron Boone's got to play all his outfielders every day. Gardner, Hicks, and Stanton. That's just the way it is. And this is an organization that takes resting players very seriously to a clinical level. I mean, they've done tests and everything that, rests do make a player better. That's why I think the one unbreakable record, well, Cy Young's is unbreakable too.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty tough too.
But Cal Ripken Jr., there's no, I mean, they don't let somebody play 162 games. Hicks works a walk. Well, that man didn't rest much, and then Cal Ripken Jr. breaks his record, and Lou's record seemed like it was unbreakable, 21-30, and then Ripken broke it, and I think that's it. There's nobody going to come close. Here's Giancarlo Stanton. Escobar here with the Royals had like a 500 game streak, and people couldn't believe it.
Oh, yeah.
But then they knew they had to get Mondesi in, and they had to break the streak. It wasn't because he was injured or tired. So 1-1 on Stanton. Stanton with a fly ball to center in the first inning. Chopped to short. There's one, and the throw is wide and hits off of Duda and then Stanton. So Stanton will go to second.
This is what Keller gets, or ground balls. It should be easy double plays. Mondesi has had some problems defensively, and you see another one right there that hits Stanton in the hand.
I thought that Duda had gotten a piece of it, but it hit Stanton and then kicked out toward foul territory in the right field area.
Yeah, he got a good read on it. He's seen it there. The Scampers a second. Mondesi has looked good at the plate, but struggled in the field so far this series.
So a fielder's choice. E6 on the throw. You know what was unusual about that, Paul? Merrifield standing right there. I don't know why he took it himself.
Yeah, I mean, coming across the bag should be an easy play. It looked like he kind of adjusted his throw to miss Hicks's helmet, and it just it caused the throw to be errant.
Gregorius lofts a fly ball to shallow left. Coming on as Gordon. He'll make the play for the second out. So here's Gleyber Torres, soft fly ball to right field, 1 for 8 since coming back. And Paul, he does not look as crisp at the plate as he did before the injury. I'm not saying it's the injury, but maybe it's just the layoff.
Yeah, I think more so with a layoff. I mean, when you're used to playing every day and you're rolling like he was, and then you take a couple of weeks off, Sure, it takes a while to get that feeling back. You know, your quickness, you're seeing the ball well, and things like that. So I always thought a DL stint wasn't just the 2 weeks that you were off. It was, you know, that week to come back and get back to where you were also.
And you know the Yankees really wanted him back. With Torres in the lineup, they're 46-19. Without him, they're 19-17.
Pretty good WAR there.
Yeah, pretty good.
Keller starting to find that movement on that sinker. That ball just darting in. At 95, though, he's a guy that they just feel like they absolutely stole in the Rule 5 draft. They expect him to be part of this rotation for years to come.
1-2. Outside 2-2. And that one gets past Perez as Stanton advances to third.
Keller's had a tough time with that breaking ball. He's bounced a few of them. He just snapped this one down. Just tries to get over, but this is, I mean, with that breaking ball with the spin, you never know which way it's going to bounce.
Two outs, runner at third. Torres at the plate, batting cleanup in the first game of this day-night doubleheader. Line drive, caught by Escobar, and that will do it here in the third. No runs, no hits, one error, one man left. We'll go to the fourth inning. It's 2-0 KC. Take on the Orioles. It's Yankees water bottle day, and the first 10,000 guests 14 and younger receive a Yankees water bottle courtesy of Party City. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Alex Gordon leads off the fourth inning, takes a strike from Severino. Fouled away, 0-2.
heard you read that giveaway about the water bottle, and that's the first time that I realized when playing in New York things were different.
Why's that?
Because my kids came home from school, little elementary school, right? And they said they wanted water. Water. And, you know, in Cincinnati, you drink water.
They want water.
I figured out I was in New York when they wanted water.
You know, just come to the realization, Paul, your 3 kids are New Yorkers.
Oh, they love it.
Yes. Line drive, a base hit for Gordon to right field.
Fastball way. You don't see that squared up too much, but Gordon quick enough.
Brian Goodwin. Pitch is high, 1-0. Goodwin struck out looking in the second. We're in the 4th inning. It's 2-0 Royals. First game of a day-night doubleheader. Made necessary by the rain out last night. Two and 0. Last time the Yankees had a doubleheader against the Royals was 1998. Yankees swept that doubleheader 8-2 and 14-2. In game 1, Paul O'Neill was 1 for 4, a walk and a run scored. In game 2, David Cohn won the game, improves to 16 and 4 on the year. Shane Spencer went 5 for 5, first 2 career home runs, and the Yankee record went to 82 and 29.
Nice. A little 14-2 there. Yeah, that little guy got a nice foul ball to take home.
Yeah, he was not around in 1998. He's got 2 baseballs.
Well, one of them is, you know, like a judge ball. I saw a big 99 on it, but then there's a game used one there that
ripped to right field, and right there is Robinson to make the play. Throws to first over the head of Bird. Backing up nicely, Romine.
Good jump on the baseball. Let's go through the first half. Nice play. All of a sudden you get a little frisky and you think, hey, I got a chance. But you don't quite get under control. You see that arm slide a little to the side, and whoa. Good backup by Romine.
And Larry Rothschild with a trip to the mound. I wonder if he saw something, and because this is certainly not a situation that would necessitate a mound visit.
Every once in a while you look out there and Seppi looks like he's kind of rushing through things, just expecting to mow teams down where, you know, he's not really setting up things, and I think he's frustrated right now, and I think Larry Rothschild might have picked up on that a little bit. You've seen a couple hard hit balls this inning. It's nothing about your stop, but, you know, kind of slow down a little bit. Have an intention to where you want to throw these pitches.
Here's Escobar with a runner on first and 1 out. 2-0 Royals lead. One and 0. And one of the great cliches in baseball is it's so hard to sweep doubleheaders. You just don't. They're mostly split. Well, it's a myth. It's a cliche that's a myth. Since 2002, there are 214 sweeps of doubleheaders, 195 splits.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Runner goes, throw to second, got him. Great tag by Torres to get Gordon.
Really good footwork by Romine. This was not an easy pitch to throw on. Had to come completely across his body. Got rid of it. You're right. Nice sweep tag. No doubt about it.
Aaron Boone was saying the other day, and here's the throw portion of this. that Torres is one of the best taggers at second base that he's seen. He said he compares him with Javi Baez, who's legendary for the Cubs. He said it's almost as if they're able to do something with the ball that other infielders are not. Just get it down and get it on the body quicker than other second basemen or shortstops.
It's one of those facets of the game that, you know, most infielders catch the ball, then they tag, and it's like it's all one play. They're kind of in a motion to tag as they catch the ball. Very hard to do. Those are big outs, though, especially with 68 pitches. It's a pitch count. You save some pitches by throwing that runner out.
Popped up right here.
That's close, Michael.
Just under our booth.
I was just getting out of my seat.
You got it. Strike three, Escobar down looking. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth inning. 2-0 KC. Yes, for Yankees Extra Innings postgame coverage and get highlights, analysis, and clubhouse reaction. Then come back later at 6:30 as Yes will have full coverage of Game 2 of the Saturday doubleheader. Greg Bird will lead off. He walked in the second inning. The second inning, Yankees loaded the bases, nobody out, didn't score. 1-0. Nothing Royals. Line foul. There's a base hit for Greg Bird to start out the fourth inning. You mentioned on the open, Paul, some people have to step up, and you think that Bird could be that guy.
Well, I mean, he seems to be walking into that spot, and you see good sound, good swing. He has the capabilities to do a lot of things starting to extend through the ball a little bit more. And I've seen it so many times where people are hurt, and then all of a sudden you almost, I don't know if it's subconsciously or not, you almost feel Mike more important to the team. And, you know, doing well can make a difference of winning and losing. And it's kind of a challenge that you can put upon yourself as a player. You don't want to take it to the level of I have to do more than I'm capable of doing, because then it backfires.
There's Walker, single to left center in the second. In Walker's last 12 games, .371 batting average, .439 on base percentage, .543 slugging. Ground ball second base. This could be two. There's one on to first. It is a double play.
And that is the beauty of the sinker ball pitchers. They're only one pitch away from a double play. A good sinker. 4.63.
Here's Romine, who was hit just, I would say, above the wrist. Right wrist is first time up. Line drive and caught by Mondesi on the fly for the final out. No runs a hit, no errors, and because of the DP, nobody left. We played 4 at the stadium, 2-0 Royals. $2.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer. Having some fun at the ballpark as we go to the 5th inning. 2-0 Royals. Mondesi leads off and takes a strike. Mondesi turned 23 yesterday. It was his birthday, same as Brad Keller. And there's a strike. Mondesi doubled to left and then scored later on in the inning. His first time up. So 2 runs in the third against Severino. 2-4-1 for the Royals, 0-3-0 for the Yankees. Shift is on for Mondesi. Slow roller. Going to be a very tough play. Going to be a base hit. He's fast. So Mondesi 2 for 2.
Mondesi swinging that magic wand right now. Hits it hard, it finds a hole. Hits it soft, it's a cheap hit. So it's fun to go through these as a hitter. It's out of the box, and you talk about his speed. You can see he just outruns the baseball there. Romine basically did everything he possibly could. Barehanded it, got out of the box quick.
So he's a threat to go. Here's Merrifield. Well, you look up at the scoreboard right now, and it's so odd. This is Saturday afternoon. And usually, Saturday afternoon was full of 105 games. There's no game played in the major leagues right now other than this one. The next one that begins is 4:05 in St. Louis. Mostly night games. No one gets away from Romine, scrambles after it.
Just off the end of the glove, but quick enough to get out there. Keep Mondesi from going.
Merrifield single, stole second in the first inning, and then a base running blunder trying to go to third. Ball hit the short, but then he walked and scored in the third. 2-2. Fouls that one back. Snap throw to first. Diving back is Mondesi. Runner goes. Foul back.
Well, Merrifield tough out, and he's got a good stat going on. I mean, obviously you don't hear a lot about the Kansas City Royals, but Whit Merrifield, only player in baseball starting from last year with over 50 stolen bases and 50 doubles. And, you know, that shows what type of player he is. Gap-to-gap hitter, good wheels, good speed.
That one's blooped into right field. Robinson is there. Played shallow. Makes the play. One away.
Almost guarantee you Herrera's not going to see a changeup in this at bat. That's what Severino gave up the 2-run double with. Kind of a hanging changeup. So Sevy's old shortstop days where he's throwing that little flip throw sidearm.
That's going to be a base hit and bounce into the seats for a double. Yankees catch a break. If that doesn't go into the seats, obviously Mondesi scores easily, so Herrera picks up his second double.
You're right, Michael. This ball hits the warning track and shoots into the stands. This ball hits the wall. It's a sure run. It's the fastball, and Herrera goes with it.
So down 2-0. Yankees will bring the infield in now with Sal Perez at the plate. Swing and a miss. Perez has been hit by a pitch and reached on a fielder's choice.
Had some good swings in game one. He hit a home run on a hanging slider. He's their all-star, and he's been hot as of late.
Oh, 2.
That's how you get him out, is get ahead and start spinning that slider out of the strike zone. Kind of a long swing, which creates a lot of power, but also a lot of swing and misses with that breaking ball.
One and 2.
Romine wanting to show him that fastball, but making sure that Severino knows that he wants that pitch outside off the plate. He can probably go back to the breaking ball.
Still 1 and 2.
Yeah, that wasn't his best slider. Not a lot of break on that one. Perez able to get a bat on it.
Two and 2. You can get Perez out by throwing out of the zone. He chases out of the zone at the highest percentage in the American League. 47% he swings the pitches out of the zone. The average hitter does it 30% of the time. Up the middle, a base hit. 1-run scores. Here comes Herrera. The throw is late. He'll score. It's a 2-run single by Perez, and it's 4-0 Kansas City.
Well, Sevy gave in and tried to sneak a fastball by him. And in this situation, I mean, Perez is such a fastball hitter. And it's not going to work. You almost just question pitch selection there. I mean, you know you've got a strikeout hitter that will chase a slider. Was not able to put him away and tried to sneak a fastball by him.
Grounded foul. So now it's 4-0 Kansas City here in the top of the 5th inning.
Well, you can almost look back, Michael, at that, you know, the bottom of the 2nd inning. That base is loaded where the Yankees put nothing on the board, and it just seemed to absolutely flatten them out offensively and really recharge the Royals.
Adam Warren warming in the Yankee bullpen. Fouled away. Three infielders right side, 2-2. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's anything to be concerned about, Paul, but this is not the same Severino that we saw when he started off the year the way he did. He's just not getting swing and miss ability right now.
He looks frustrated to me. Like, you know, he's frustrated where he is in this game. It's hard to explain, but it's like he's trying to rush through the outcome, and it's just he's not committed to the pitches yet.
High fly ball, right field. Robinson back on the track at the wall. See ya! A 2-run home run for Duda, and it's 6-0 Kansas City.
Definitely not what you expected when you see the matchup. Duda's always been able to hit a fastball, and that ball kind of just hangs out in the middle of the plate.
And that is going to do it. Another subpar outing for Severino. His last 3 starts, a 7.80 ERA, and that's now gone up as he gives up 6 runs in 4 1/3. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. But not this afternoon, Paul.
Yeah, not a lot of late movement, what you're used to seeing. And you're seeing him with a lot of the plate. Ball's down the middle. Velocity's still up. Bad pitch selection there. But then Duda gets 97. But, you know, it's out where a hitter can handle it. He just looks frustrated to me. Like he doesn't feel like he's got his good stuff. But, you know, if you look at the numbers, everything's okay.
Now, there's been some concern, Paul, in some circles that he's tipping pitches. And I know they've been working on it, and there was some whispers about it, but who knows if that's in fact the case. And you never know. I mean, people and the guys in the dugout see things that we might not see up here.
Yeah, I was never into that. I thought that was more kind of smoke and mirrors where guys are always tipping pitches every time they give up hits or things. I just don't see the game that way.
Bonifacio hits one deep to center field. Going back is Hicks. He's there in front of the track to put it away. So what do you think is the deal over the last 4 games? Because we're so used to him being extraordinary, and that's certainly not the case the last 4 games.
That's probably that. kind of is why you're talking about it, because you're so used to watching him be dominating. You know, sometimes you need that little all-star break. Maybe that has kind of, you know, tired him out a little bit. I have no doubt that, you know, he's going to string together some good starts. But you know, this game, in my mind, you throw up some runs in that second inning with bases loaded, it's a different game.
Well, you wonder what's going through that young man's mind. He's used to dominating, and now for 4 games he has not dominated at all. The 1-0. And Gordon hits one into right center field. Robinson on the run reaches up and makes a nice play for the final out of the inning. So Warren comes on to get the next 2 Royals. But the Royals pad the lead with 4 runs. We're halfway through. The Golden Knights made the leap into Yankee Stadium. Yankees really donated a significant amount of money to the Warrior Foundation. And then there was the oath of enlistment on the stadium as well. Just a great pregame ceremony here at Yankee Stadium. And Yankees managing general partner Hal Steinbrenner and his wife Christina were on the field to present the check to the Warrior Foundation, which the Yankees have supported for many, many years. So good stuff by all. So now Brad Keller has a 6-0 lead. And he goes 0-2 on the leadoff batter, Tyler Wade. Tyler Wade, with the bases loaded, nobody out, hit a little nubber in front of the plate. It was turned into an unassisted double play by Sal Perez. And it was the first unassisted double play by a catcher, Paul, since Brad Ausmus of the Astros on July 8, 2006 against St. Louis. And there have only been 2 catchers in the history of baseball, swing and a miss, Wade down on strikes, that have had 2 unassisted double plays in a season.
Really?
Yeah, and the last one, according to Bill Chuck, who does unbelievable statistical analysis, the last one was Jorge Posada.
Jorge. I like when you bring up names I know. You know, you throw out some dude from 1950, it doesn't mean much to me.
Here's Shane Robinson.
You know, if you watch Keller and look back at what he's really been a one-pitch pitcher today. Sinker, sinker. He has not been able to find a breaking ball, but it's been good enough to get him double plays and ground balls.
If you're a hitter, how do you attack a sinker then?
Well, if you're a left-handed hitter, you really have to cover the ball, meaning don't pull off and really use, shortstop, left center field. Right-handers, you kind of try to have to fight the ball off because a lot of times it's boring in on your hands.
Ground ball third. A nice play by Escobar as he cut in front of Mondesi to make the out. Is there any way to lift it though, Paul?
Well, I mean, you ideally want to see a ball up in the strike zone where it loses its sink and you kind of get a tailing action where a ball you can really hit hard. But, ever since like that, he got out of that second inning, he's really found that movement on his sinker. And it's just like I said, it's a lot to be learned. When you see what Keller has done today with one pitch, and he has not been able to throw the breaking ball over, so he's just stuck with that sinker and he's just pounding that thing in and getting ground balls.
Here's Hicks. Hit sharply and through for a base hit past the diving Merrifield. So Hicks is 2 for 2 with a walk in the leadoff spot.
We went over, his success, coming into the game, 70 innings. So he's at, 74 innings now. He's given up 2 home runs. And that's all because it's very hard to elevate the ball. I mean, you see that's base hit, but it's a single. A lot of times you look at Major League Baseball to now, it's all based on velocity. And everybody wants to throw 100. The sinker ball pitcher has been around for 100 years, and there's a reason for it. Because it's very hard to elevate. It's very hard to get out of the infield.
1-1 on Stanton. Stanton batting second. He's the DH. Now, yesterday's lineup also had Stanton batting second and playing right field before the game was rained out. So that's the first look at the lineup without Judge, who had been in the number 2 hole all year. Do you like him batting second?
Well, I think that, with the numbers game that they play now, it gets you extra at bats. And sure, when Stanton's swinging the way he is now, you want those extra at bats. The old days of the 3 and 4 hole being your hitters and drivers, they've just moved it up a little bit to get people over the course of the season those extra swings. We talked about Torres hitting 4th, and that's no more than just kind of splitting up your left-handers and kind of balancing out the lineup.
Well, Stan would like to lift this 3-1 pitch. Yankees need a jolt right now. They're down 6-0. Foul ball, 3-2.
You see, one thing a sinker ball pitcher can do, even in fastball counts, they can challenge hitters with sinking fastballs because they're not, unless you really get it up in the strike zone, they're not going to be driven out of the park.
Runner goes. High drive. Left center. Goodwin back. Turning. Looking. See ya. A monster shot by Giancarlo Stanton. Yankees on the board. It's 6-2 Royals.
Wow. I'm still looking where that one landed, and again, when you challenge somebody as a sinker baller, you got to make sure you get it down. This is the first pitch he's had up in the strike zone for a couple innings, and Stanton, that'll tell you enough, just hammered it.
He hit it off the good humor sign.
That is a stinking bomb.
I mean you don't hit him there.
You don't. I didn't know we had a camera that showed that angle. I mean, that's just a place we've never seen balls.
Wow, that is some blast. We'll get the numbers. We said the Yankees needed a jolt. There's a jolt. What they like to do is get into a suspect Royals bullpen. This is from StatCast AI, powered by AWS. 447 feet. Exit velocity 112.2. 447. Good humor indeed.
You just, you waited to break that thing open. You just hope it was, it was still a 2-run game, but now it's 6-2. You still got a ways to go.
So a 2-out rally, a single by Hicks, and then Giancarlo Stanton just crushes a baseball. Travels 447 feet. 6-2 Royals. And the rest of the Picks Morning News crew with all the news, weather, and traffic you need to start your day. Mornings from 4:30 to 9 on the Picks 11 Morning News, New York's very own. Crowd still buzzing after that 447-foot 2-run home run by Stanton. Puts the Yankees right back in it. Goodwin takes low from Adam Warren. 6-2 Royals. For Stanton, his 24th home run. He has 63 runs batted in. And a strike to Goodwin. One and two. Kind of a humid, muggy Saturday afternoon. Somewhat overcast. A little sun, then clouds. Right now we're in the cloud portion of the day. And no wind whatsoever. You look at the flags out in left center field there. They're limp out there. Nothing going on. Fly ball left field. Wade puts it away for the first out. Now you wonder, you mentioned earlier, Paul, if you score early on a bad team, they'll just pack it up and say, oh, here's another loss. And you wonder when they're up 6-0 and then you get a home run like that, do they start to think, uh-oh, here we go again.
You know what? You're still looking at the scoreboard. It's, you beat Severino, which is the Yankees ace, for 6 runs. So, you've got some guys that have a lot of confidence because they've had some good at-bats off a really good pitcher. So, it's just, it just goes to show you have to show up, you have to beat teams, whether they're the worst teams in baseball or the best. On a given day, anybody can beat you in the major leagues.
Two and 0. Escobar 0 for 2. Two and 1. Escobar is 31 years old, 11th big league season. July 8th of this year, he had a streak of 421 games snapped. Longest streak in the majors. Popped up right side. Bird makes the play. How about this for perspective, Paul? He could have started every game through 2031 when he'd be 44 and still had been short of Cal Ripken's record of 26-32.
He said that's probably one that's never going to be touched. I can't even fathom that. It just staying away from injuries, staying away from what happened to Aaron Judge being hit by a pitch. It's just anything to miss a game.
Here's Mondesi. He's 2 for 2. Hit sharply and right at Gleyber Torres. And he gets Mondesi. And Warren has retired 5 in a row as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 6-2 Kansas City. Live. 6-8-1 Kansas City, 2-5-0 Yankees. Keller 5 innings. Severino lasted just 1 out into the 5th. Gave up 6 runs. Duda, a 2-run home run the last 2 he gave up. And Giancarlo Stanton with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 5th. Gleyber Torres leads off. And there's a strike as we start at the bottom of the 6th. Keller's just 22 years old. Well, 23. His birthday was yesterday. And it comes from a place that sounds delightful, Paul. Flowery Branch, Georgia.
How can it get better, right?
Maybe Pleasantville would be better. The Royals pitching coach Cal Eldred said, "I have no idea why this guy was available in the Rule 5 draft," as Torres picks up a single to start off the bottom of the 6th. And your hometown team is the one that gave him up. He was taken by the Reds in the, no, actually they made the move. They taken by the Reds in the Rule 5 draft and immediately traded to the Royals for cash.
Well, this is one of those games that you look at and you're going to need home runs to get back into this game, and that's what the Yankees do. That's the good news. The bad news is you've got a good sinker ball pitcher, but you've got one on the board with a 2-run homer with Stanton. You're going to need another big blow.
And a push bunt by Bird against the shift. He picks up a base hit. Second time he's done that in about a week.
You know, every once in a while you see a play that just like, that is a smart play. I mean, we need base runners as the Yankees, and I'm going to help this team out by just getting on base and giving somebody an opportunity. They need a long inning. They need to throw some things around. You don't need a perfect bunt. With this shift, a great job by Bird.
That's close to a perfect bunt.
Worked. When you're standing on first and they didn't throw you out, Michael, that's perfect.
So he is 2 for 2 with a walk today. And his average is now up to 238. Here's Neil Walker. Walker singled and wrapped into a double play. Torres at second, Bird is at first. Yankees down by 4, bottom of the 6th inning. That one is ripped into right field. It is a base hit. Torres will score easily. Bird goes to third. It's an RBI single for Walker, and it's 6-3 Royals.
I'll tell you, things happen quick, and it's a good piece of hitting by Walker. He seems to be your guy that you want up at the plate. It's set up by Bird, just adding another base runner. Big hit. You just got to keep this thing going.
Walker now 14 hits in his last 37 at-bats over 12 games, and he picks up his 24th ribby of the year. Here's Romine. 0-1. Kevin McCarthy up in the bullpen. Soft ground ball, short. There's one. There's two, but a run scores, and now it's 6-4 Kansas City.
Again, Keller's been really able to put out some fires today by the ground ball double play. The Yankees did score a couple. Now you feel like, you know, you really are back in this game, Michael, because you're, you know, a bloop and a blast away, only being down 2.
Wade swings and misses. He's 0 for 2, hit into that unassisted double play with the number in front of the plate, and he didn't run out of the box. That was in the second, then struck out in the 5th. 1-1. So 2 in the bottom of the 5th, 2 here in the 6th, and we got ourselves a ball game. 6-4 Royals. Grounded foul. Three and 2 on Wade. And Wade works a walk with 2 outs. And that does bring the tying run up to the plate.
One of the reasons Wade is here, you see that Joe's going to head out there into the bullpen, might not be a bad thing for the Yankees. Back to my point, Wade does steal bases. but you can't give away outs. And Perez is so good behind the dish that you know, it's a tough time.
No signal to the bullpen yet. McCarthy's ready. It is amazing to me, Paul. We fight this for years now, especially with the prevalence of the shifts. You're down by a lot of runs. No one wants to bunt. And that bunt actually set this all up. And I understand bunting's not easy against a big league pitcher, but neither is hitting. So if you can hit in the big leagues, I think you should be able to bunt.
You know, and it's going to be a play that, you know, you practice a little bit more in batting practice. You know, maybe you take those bunts in batting practice a little more seriously. Put yourself in a game situation. I got to get this down here. And you're right, it doesn't take a perfect bunt when the shift is that dramatic. But boy, it can change an inning, which it did here.
And I've talked to guys that were power hitters, and well, my job is to hit the ball over the shift. Okay, but you're down by 4, so even if you hit a home run there, I always felt like you hit a home run there, it kind of took the starch out of the rally.
Yeah, it's a clean slate again.
Right.
Everybody's off the bases.
It still would have been 6-4.
Yeah.
Lined into right field. It is a base hit for Robinson. Wade will go to third. Robinson picks up a single, first and third, and 2 men out. Hicks coming to the plate.
Hey, got to be relieved that Ned Yost said probably going to get him out of here now. This would be a big, big at bat for Aaron Hicks.
Well, Ned Yost makes the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Keller's day is over. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Kevin McCarthy in. First and third, 2 men out. 6-4 Royals are in the bottom of the 6th. Here is Hicks, and those are the numbers on McCarthy. Two and 0. 26 years old, out of Malvern, New York. 16th round pick in 2013 out of Marist in Poughkeepsie. (3-0). Overcame a serious knee injury at Marist. He was long tossing in the outfield. His leg got stuck in the ground. He tore his ACL.
An interesting decision here. Did you let Hicks look at a 3-0 pitch? Stanton on deck. It looked like he was taken all the way.
And they feel comfortable with him because he does only swing at pitches in the zone. He very rarely chases. But he did take that 3-1, and Stanton is on deck. First and third, 2 men out. Wade at third, Robinson is at first. 3-1. And he walked. Bases loaded for Stanton. Last inning, Stanton kind of jump-started his team, Paul.
Wow. Jump-started. You know what? You really can't describe that because you're not used to seeing balls like that. But I mean, that's what Yankee fans envisioned when he was traded over here, to see those just huge home runs. I mean, he's got a huge opportunity to tie this game with just a base hit right here.
Strike on the outside corner.
McCarthy threw his best pitch since he's been out of the bullpen right there to get ahead of Stanton. A little slider down and away right on the corner.
Driven to right field, going back Bonifacio, and he makes the play on the track for the final out of the inning. So Stanton gave it a ride the other way, but not far enough. Yankees do add 2. They're down by 2. Begins at 7 p.m. That's Yankees Red Sox live from Fenway Park, right here on Pix 11, New York's very own. Speaking of the Red Sox, the AL East standings, they're brought to you by your Tri-State Volkswagen dealers. Red Sox won last night in extra innings, so they are up on the Yankees by 3 games in the loss column, 5 overall, and a big 4-game set at Fenway. That should be fun starting on Thursday. All right, we'll go into the 7th inning. Adam Warren has retired all 5 Royals he's faced. Yankees are down by 2. Swing and a miss. Paul, did you think that Stanton got that?
I did. I thought off the bat, the replay will probably show he got it off the end of the bat a little bit, but he's so strong that every time he hits the ball, you figure it's heading to the seats. It was a good at bat, just didn't quite square it up. Let's see where this hit on the back. Ball's up. I actually got in on him just enough towards the label where the ball just doesn't carry. It's one thing when you're Stanton, they play so deep Bonifacio makes it an easy play. That ball probably would have been off the wall.
1-2 on Merrifield. Merrifield 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He thought he had it. Maybe not a home run, but he thought he had himself an extra base hit. McCarthy, he's pretty happy about Bonifacio's catch. Swing and a miss. Warren sharp today. 6 up, 6 down against the Yankee righty.
Well, this is the only way that you can mount comebacks is you get to that bullpen and they shut down the other team, and that ball right under his hands. Great pitch after a couple back-to-back sliders away.
Here's Herrera, who's 2 for 3 with a couple of doubles.
I almost get the feeling now, Michael, that the Royals are just trying to hang on. That the Yankees bullpen is good enough to give them an opportunity to come back. Do you catch them or do they hang on? That's kind of the way this game looks right now.
1-1. Gregorius shades up the middle, but he is on the shortstop side of second base. So not an extreme shift for Herrera. Pitch inside and high, 2-1. In the bullpen, Chasen Shreve is up. That will probably be for Lucas Duda. If anybody gets on, Duda will come up this inning. Slow roller, going to be a very tough play. And Warren makes it. Had to thread the needle and got it to Bird for the second out.
He did. He dropped down sidearm to keep it in that lane where he could get inside the base. Good play. We saw this same kind of play earlier with Mondesi running, and it was a no-doubter base hit. But Warren gets to it, makes a good throw from side.
Here's Salvador Perez. He's 1 for 2, big 2-run single up the middle against Severino in the 5th, and that was followed by Duda's 2-run home run, and that's the difference in the game right now. Duda's home run fouled away.
It's a good matchup because Warren has such good control with that slider. Perez has been on a hot streak, but his one weakness is to swing at that slider. We talked about his tendency to go outside the strike zone.
One and one on Salvador Perez. The Royals All-Star representative in DC. Two and one.
It's quite an all-star game. What was it, 10 home runs?
10 home runs. And a lot of strikeouts. So
yeah,
it was very representative of today's game.
Kind of like back-to-back home run derbies. Huh?
25 strikeouts and 10 home runs. First one by Judge. 2-1. Looked like Scott Whitson wanted to throw it the right hand, did not. So 3-1.
He deked you a couple times today. You know that?
Three and two.
See, that's Adam Warren's strength. The ability to throw sliders, 3-1, 2-0, those counts where, you know, hitters are dead fastball hunting, and he's able to throw that slider for a strike.
Shift is on for Perez. 3 infielders on the left side. And he pops that one up. Shallow right field. Robinson coming on. He makes the play. Outstanding outing by Adam Warren. 8 up, 8 down, giving the Yankees a chance to come back at the end of 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Royals lead the Yankees 6-4, but we'll stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your caps. And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest who is joined by his family. United States Army Corporal John Boyd from Canandaigua, New York, who served in the Korean War and is a Silver Star and Purple Heart recipient. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the microphone behind home plate and welcome back Kenny Thomas. He will now sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans where we foam. Oh, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
BuyFordNow.com. Aaron Hicks has had a nice game. 2 singles, 2 walks, and a run scored. Giancarlo Stanton, a monster 2-run home run. I mean, a monster 2-run home run. Gleyber Torres a single. Greg Bird 2 singles, one of them a bunt single. 2 singles for Walker, big RBI. 0 for 2 for Romine. 0 for 2 for Wade. And Shane Robinson 1 for 3. And Aaron Judge a spectator as he begins his DL stint. Didi Gregorius steps up. Yankees are down by 2. And the pitch is low for McCarthy, 1-0.
Keep giving yourself opportunities if you're Didi. You know, you're a leadoff hitter. Get this thing going again. If you put pressure on Kansas City, inning after inning, sooner or later you'll break through, tie this game up. Same pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Remember, they traded their closer, so their closer now is Willie Peralta. They do not have a great bullpen, so the Yankees have certainly pulled to a more reasonable amount where you can really expose the bullpen. Let's see if they can capitalize. One and 2 on Gregorius. Didi is 0 for 3 today. We have another game after this one, everybody, so hope you could stay with us. It's the night portion of the day-night doubleheader. And the Yankees will send CC Sabathia against Heath Philmeyer. Looped into center field, and that's a base hit for Gregorius.
Well, there's a bat that died a hero right there. Broken bat single up the middle, but again, leadoff hitter on. Pressure on Kansas City. Hanging slider you see right off the end of the bat.
So here's Gleyber Torres. He started the Yankee rally last inning with a single through the left side. He is 1 for 3 today.
Probably his best at bat since he's been back off the disabled list. Hit it hard to the left side.
Fouls that one back.
You see, he's just right there. He went for a little bit too much. You know, that a good pitch to hit, but kind of overswung. Just want to keep things going. You let it happen, but it's very hard as a player to kind of settle yourself down and just take what the pitcher gives you.
That one's driven out to right field. Going back, Bonifacio, and he can't make the play. Going to third is Gregorius. They are waving him home. Here's the throw. He's in there. Going to third is Torres. He is out on bad base running, but the Yankees pull to within 1. Not quite sure where Gleyber Torres was going, Paul.
Well, I mean, every once in a while you'll see a young player and in the excitement make a mistake. I mean, obviously wonderful at bat. Everything's going great. You're just as good at second base and scoring position, and you just feel like you can steal a base. Ball ricochets around out there. Didi scores easily, and Perez takes his time, seeing that he's got a dead duck at third base.
Pitch the Bird. There's the ball. So if you are keeping score at home, it's 9-4-2-5.
He tried the trick slide, kind of bring the arm out, but there was nothing going on. He was just out by too much. Take the positive out of it. That's back-to-back really good at bats by Torres.
Well, they have certainly modified the shift against Bird after his bunt. Now the third baseman Escobar is closer to the bag and right on the grass. High fly ball, deep left, Gordon back. He's on the track, and he makes the play for the second out.
Well, that's the one spot as a left-handed hitter that's very hard to do any damage when you elevate the ball because it's so deep in left center field. But another good swing by Greg Bird also.
Here's Neil Walker. So it's 6-5 Royals, bottom of the 7th inning. And David Robertson is heating up. 3 infielders on the right side for Walker. Walker is 2 for 3. An RBI single last time up. And a strike.
Called a strike, Michael. Not really a strike.
A base hit for Walker. Using left field beautifully, picks up his 3rd hit of the day.
Well, I tell you what, it's been like night and day since he's found that stroke to left field. And boy, you're looking for somebody to just keep adding hits. Right now for the Yankees, change up. Talking about covering the ball. See how he stays on top of that and just drives it the other way instead of rolling over. That's how you cover a changeup and a sinker from the left side.
A little conference on the mound.
You got a lefty up in the pen and you got a lefty on deck.
Tim Hill, that nasty lefty.
Yeah, that's one of those lefties. Jim Cott always told me the best way to see a lefty like that is stand on your head. So that'd be a tough way to hit, kid. He said, well, you want to try?
Tying run is at first base. Here's Austin Romine. Austin is 0 for 2 and was hit by a pitch. A strike in the outside corner.
You got to believe you got some right-handed hitters getting loose on the Yankee dugout down in the tunnel, because if they do bring that lefty in, and there's the guy I was thinking of is Andujar. They bring that lefty in to face Tyler Wade, you're going to see a righty.
And there's a base hit for Romine. Walker around second. He's going to go to third. It's a single for Austin Romine. First and third, 2 men out.
Well, they keep chipping away and keep giving themselves opportunities. They've out-hit the Royals 13-8, but still trail. Ned Yost is going to see a pinch hitter, but he's still going to go to the lefty.
Well, the Yankees did not pull the pinch hitter yet. They wanted to make him go to the bullpen, so he brings in the lefty, and now we will see Andujar coming in to pinch hit for Tyler Wade. So it'll be the sidewinding Hill against the righty hitting Andujar. And that will do it as McCarthy's day is over. Yankees are within 1 after being down 6-0. Stay right here. All right, so here's the deal. First and third, 2 men out. 1 run in, bottom of the 7th. Yankees trail 6-5. Miguel Andujar pinch hitting for Tyler Wade. Tim Hill on the mound for the Royals. And a strike.
Look at their numbers, not real good, and you would imagine that most of the damage coming from right-handed hitters.
0-2. And the pitch inside. 1-2.
The more pitches Andujar sees from Hill, the better he's going to see the ball. I mean, this is all about picking up the release point here of somebody that's as awkward as Hill is from the side.
Foul the other way. Bottom of the 7th, big spot. Tying runs at 3rd, go ahead runs at 1st. Swing and a miss, ball gets away. And Duhar ran late, and he will be out at 1st to end the inning. And Duhar did not know that it got away from Perez. It did. Yankees get a run on 4 hits and 2 men left. This is the final out as Hill comes on to get Andujar. We're going to the 8th inning. Yankees trailing 6-0 at one point. Now it's 6-5. Buy4now.com. There's 8 hits in there. 2 doubles for Herrera. 2-run home run for Duda. 2-run single by Perez. 2 runs scored by Mondesi. So we go to the 8th inning. New Yankee pitcher is David Robertson. You can't get any better than what Adam Warren gave them. 8 up and 8 down in 2 2/3. This will be the 46th game for Robertson. He'll face Lucas Duda. Defensive changes for the Yankees. Robinson moves to left. Walker moves to right. And Andujar is at 3rd. Walker has never played the outfield in his career. So Bears watching. He's a good athlete. We'll see what happens.
Probably shagged a few balls in BP out there at times.
How about this stat, Paul? 12 of the last 17 Yankees have reached base.
Yeah, you keep looking at the scoreboard and they just cannot get over the hump to tie this game up. Two and 2 on Duda.
Strike three, Duda down looking. He did not like that call.
Pick that up early, Mike. I was still watching it on the monitor. You were already calling it. You just assumed it was a good pitch, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. That's kind of tough to hit right there.
More info on Walker. We told you he's never played the outfield in the majors. He played 14 games in 2010 in left field at AAA. So some outfield experience. You might say, well, why do this? I want to keep his bat in the lineup. And Yankee Stadium has the smallest right field in the majors, so you also have a strikeout pitcher on the mound.
That's why they stuck me in right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
They tried you in left.
They didn't like what they saw.
1-1 on Bonifacio. Two and one. Bonifacio 0 for 3, fouled out to the catcher, struck out looking, and a fly ball to center. Bonifacio walks against Robertson, so that's the first base runner allowed by the Yankee bullpen today. There's a base hit off the bat of Gordon. Hicks comes up throwing. Stopping at second is Bonifacio. So a single for Gordon, who's 2 for 4.
A big spot for Robertson now. You just can't afford to get them back out on the board. Fought back. Gordon, good swing, stays inside. Line drive left field. All of a sudden now you're going to go over how you're going to scout, how you're going to pitch.
And the pitch to Goodwin. 1-0. 6-5 Royals. They led 6-0 going into the bottom of the 5th inning. But 2 runs by the Yankees in the bottom of the 5th, 2 in the 6th and 1 in the 7th, has made it a nail biter.
Robertson had a little trouble finding that strike zone with his breaking ball, and that's kind of his bread and butter. He's in a situation where he's going to have to make a pitch. Just hope that the ball's hit at somebody.
And a strike, 2-1. Also brings into play Neil Walker's arm, single to right field. Bonifacio at second. How will he handle that? There's a number of ways they could have gone with the substitution. They have Brett Gardner on the bench, but then they would have lost either Walker or Andujar. Three and one.
Nobody up in the Yankee bullpen, so Aaron Boone is trusting that Robertson can somehow wiggle out of this.
Deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Oh, a crusher. 3-run home run by Goodwin. And now it's 9-5 KC.
You can tell that Robertson, he's kind of searching out there. And obviously, you said it, Michael, it's a crushing blow. You just had the feeling that the Yankees were going to somehow tie this game up. Now you've got to somehow look for a huge inning. It's a cut fastball just right there on the inner half. Boy, Adam Warren made it look extremely easy today. And then Robertson, that's the problem. Every once in a while, when you go to your bullpen, you know, 3-4 guys, sometimes, you know, not everybody's going to have their A stuff. Yeah, the ball's supposed to be outside. And it was a cutter right down Broadway.
Fly ball, center field. Escobar retired for the second out. There's Mondesi. And a strike. Oh, 0-2. And a swing and a miss as Mondesi's down on strikes. But a 3-run home run allowed by Robertson as the fans boo here at the stadium. 9-5. Stop by for a juicy quarter pounder with cheese at participating McDonald's. By the New York Lottery, go for the win with Take 5 from the New York Lottery. By your local Chevy dealers, visit ChevyOffers.com. By Fios, the 100% fiber optic network, visit GetFios.com. And by Mazda, feel alive. Well, the Yankees have some work ahead of them as they have to make up a 4-run deficit, and we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. David Robertson was searching. Shane Robinson now is being pinch hit for by Brett Gardner. And there's a strike. Jason Hamill, who's been moved from the starting rotation to the bullpen. You can see the numbers and figure out why.
Get himself.
Truth teller.
Straight in your face. Right?
So Robinson, while he was in there, 1 for 3. One and 2, and you might say, well, why didn't they use Gardner in the outfield if they were going to pinch hit for him with Robinson? Well, then they would have kept Tim Hill in for one more batter, and they would not have been able to use Gardner in this spot. Slow roller, second base. Merrifield gets Gardner 1 away. So Hicks leading off in this game is 2 for 2 with 2 walks, average up to 250. You wonder how that 7th inning plays out. And you can drive yourself nuts doing this if Gleyber Torres does not try to go to third after the big double driving in Gregorius. And, you know, we can repeat this adage over and over and over again. You don't make the first out of third or the final out of third. It doesn't behoove you to do it. You're not gaining enough of an advantage. And that was probably just an example of youthful exuberance. Because he pretty much, Paul, has a good idea of how to play the game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it plays in front of you. You just, you know, the excitement of the moment of the game. You know, it takes an instant to make a decision, and every once in a while you just make a bad one. I'll tell you one thing. He's looks much better at the plate. He's had a couple great at bats. You know, when you look up at the scoreboard against Kansas City and you're down 4, I mean, these are teams that you should beat, and it's just the way it is. You really can't sugarcoat it. It doesn't matter where your lineup is. You know, you had Severino starting against the Kansas City Royals. You didn't expect to be in this position.
The Yankees have announced a crowd of 46,571, which is their 19th sellout of the year. A lot of them left after that home run. Two. Swing and a miss. Hicks down on strikes. Yankees have certainly had their opportunities. Here in the 2nd inning, bases loaded, nobody out. Tyler Wade, an unassisted double play. 7th inning. Here's Gleyber Torres. Big double over the head of Bonifacio. Then he goes for third. And check out Phil Nevin with his hands on his head in disbelief. He did not wave Gleyber Torres a third. Swing and a miss. 0-1 on Stanton. Stanton had a 2-run home run in the 5th. Flirted with a grand slam in the 6th. Oh, 0-2 on Stanton. So Stanton's 1 for 4. His home run in the 5th inning is 24th. traveled 447 feet. Swing and a miss as Hamill comes on and has a very good 8th inning, retiring the Yankees in order 1-2-3. We go to the 9th. It's 9-5 Kansas City. Yankees have 5 runs on 13 hits, but the Royals 9 runs on 10 hits with 1 error as we go to the 9th inning. Chasen Shreve will take over. The Yankees have been playing catch up all day. You see the numbers on Shreve. This will be his 40th game. Brett Gardner's in left field. He had pinch hit for Robinson. Walker still remains in right. Here's Whit Merrifield. Oh and 1. As Shreve started him with the fastball.
Well, Merrifield, another one of the guys that have been mentioned in a lot of trades just because of his ability to play other positions at second base today. He can play outfield, 300 hitter. The way rosters are set up, players like this can really, really help.
0-2.
Think the trades are about done, Michael?
You mean for the Yankees?
No, basically for everybody. I mean,
no.
Tuesday, you think a lot of will happen by then?
There's more, I believe.
Yeah, we were talking earlier in the game, the teams that have added and have not added, and I'm not going to go through all the names because it becomes confusing, but in the American League East, or American League period, the teams that are in playoff hunts, Yankees, Red Sox, Indians, Astros, Mariners, and Oakland have all made trades to this point. And you do the same thing in the National League. Teams that are involved in the playoff hunt, Phillies, Braves, National, Cubs, Dodgers obviously added Machado, D-backs and Rockies have already made trades. So it's been a flurry here in the last week.
Ground ball up the middle. Gregorius fields and gets Merrifield. Hey, the way I look at it, Paul, and you obviously were blessed. You played on 5 World Championship teams, but it's not easy to go to the playoffs. So when you have a chance, go for it. You might not have a chance again.
I agree 100%. I think that, windows of opportunity come with sports and sports teams. I mean, look at the Kansas City Royals, where they were a few years ago in the World Series and where they are now. You have a short window. And obviously some of the bigger markets have the ability to keep that window open. But if you're a team that has an opportunity, Moustakas, That might have been his game jersey today because he's on his way to Milwaukee. But I agree with you, Michael. You only have opportunities once in a while to win championships.
And Moustakas was traded late last night, early this morning to Milwaukee. And the outfielder that they got in the deal is supposed to be here for the second game, Brett Phillips. They also got a right-handed pitcher, Jorge Lopez.
I don't mean to snub Milwaukee, but if you're Moustakas and you get called in the office and it's like you've been traded and he's just like, okay, where am I going? Where? Milwaukee. Okay.
They got a chance though.
Yeah.
They got a chance. They're going for it. Two and one on Rosell Herrera, who's 2 for 4 today with 2 ribbies. 2 doubles, run scored. 3 and 1 to Herrera. Three and 2. Well, just out of curiosity, Paul, don't you want to see how Walker tracks a fly ball?
You know what? I was almost going to say, and I didn't want to jinx him, that if you're uncomfortable, the ball will find you. It's just like I remember being stuck in at first base a couple times. I got to play every time, and ended up losing the game once, launched one into left field. It's just the ball will find you if you're uncomfortable with the field.
And Herrera works a walk. So here's Salvador Perez. Well, the Yankees have certainly tried to climb back, but the big story in this game, Luis Severino on the mound, and for the 4th straight game, he's just not Luis Severino. The velocity's there, all that, but people are turning around fastballs. Doesn't seem like he has that jump on the fastball. Looked frustrated on the mound, and for him to give up 6 runs in 4 1/3 innings, that's just not Luis Severino.
This is a lineup, and believe me, any big league lineup can throw numbers up on you, but this is a lineup, if Severino's has a good day, that he will absolutely dominate. And he came out the first couple innings looking very, very good, and it just like he got a little impatient and frustrated where he was in the game, down a couple runs, and it just I think it's more of a mental thing right now than it is a physical thing, where he needs to turn the page, close the book on the first half, and realize how big his starts are from now on. His next outing, Red Sox, right?
Yep. Count 2-2 on Perez. Be interesting to see what Aaron Boone says between games about Severino's outing. Grounded foul. Line drive past a diving Didi and into left center field. Herrera will go to third. The throw, not in time, but Perez doesn't have much speed. He'll stay put at first. So first and third, one man out for Duda.
Well, it's a fastball up, and you've seen the fastball up to Perez a couple times today, and it's been hit hard every single time. They got to get that ball, the fastball's in on him, and work with that slider away, but that ball away hard, he can handle.
Fly ball, center field. Hicks makes the catch, tagging Herrera. He will score easily. So a sac fly for Duda, and now it's 10-5 KC.
Well, the strong point of the Yankees right now is the super bullpen, and for some reason today it just didn't quite work out. You saw things coming back. The offense was digging back in the game. Warren looked great. Robertson's human. He gave up a big 3-run homer, and now Shreve giving up another run. So you kind of got beat with your strength today, which, you know, you don't see that happening a lot with the Yankees. But right now, you know, these teams that you're playing, coming from Tampa and then coming in with Kansas City, it just seems like these kind of losses kind of sting a little bit more.
So the force out off the bat of Bonifacio, and that'll do it. A big run for the Royals as they now make it a 5-run lead. Bottom of the ninth coming up for the Yanks. Spectrum TV the way you want it. A couple of home runs. Lucas Duda, a 2-run blast in the 5th. That knocks Severino out of the game. And then we go to the 8th inning. Brian Goodwin with a 3-run home run off of David Robertson. And that might have knocked the Yankees out of the game.
Definitely a rally killer because the place was starting to get excited. You could see the Yankees coming back, and then boom, they shut the door with a 3-run homer.
Let's see if the Yankees could rally here against Hamill as Gregorius takes a strike. Didi is 1 for 4. Hamill worked a 1-2-3 8th inning. Fly ball center field. Goodwin will make the play for the first out. We have another game after this, 7 o'clock start, and you'll be able to watch it on the Yes Network tonight. Pre-game will be at 6:30. Here's Gleyber Torres. He is 2 for 4. Single to left in the 6th and doubled over the head of Bonifacio in right field in the 7th. Drove in a run, but then got thrown out at 3rd, trying to advance on the throw. 0-1. Ground ball to 3rd. Escobar makes the play, and the Yankees are down to their final out. And here's Greg Bird as the game has come down to the final out. Pitch is high. Two and 0 on Bird. Bird's walked, single to right, a bunt single against the shift in the 6th inning, and then a deep fly ball to left center. 2-1. Aaron Judge on the DL, a spectator for the next 3 weeks. And the Yankees are down to their final strike. It's a 2-2 count.
Well, you got CC Sabathia going tonight, and then the excitement of Jay Happ taking the mound here tomorrow in the Bronx.
Strike 3. Bird down looking, and the Yankees lose 10-5 in the first game of a day-night doubleheader. So Hamill retires all 6 Yankees that he faces. Yankees are down 6-0, close it to 6-5. They lose 10-5. We'll be back.